Well, hello there, fellow traveler. This is your first time here, right? I don't recognize you at least. You kind of stick out like a sore thumb. Oh, you're from Hyrule. Now I understand why you look so, odd. Clearly the fashion there is, a bit different compared to here in Azeroth. But I have actually been there, although that was some time ago before that whole Calamity Ganon thing happened. Well, I was there back then to help with the War of Darkness. You know, the one where almost the entire kingdom was shrouded in twilight forever? What? You've never heard of any of that? The entire kingdom fell and was taken over by a tyrant for months. Well, let me tell you about it all. Because believe me, it was quite horrifying. I've seen it all happen with my own eyes. And it all started with the castle. The evil tyrant known as Zant attacked the castle out of nowhere. He went straight for the throne, cutting off the head of the beast. He showed up on the fields outside of Castle Town, and quite quickly his troops stormed the castle, ignoring all the citizens who could do nothing but watch. In a matter of seconds, they had cut through Princess Zelda's personal guard. They were just too fast, big, and powerful. These shadowy beasts were unlike anything I had ever seen. And then he appeared. Zant, the usurper king. In the end, he gave Zelda either the choice to surrender, or all the Hylians in the land would be killed. And that was the end. In the end, she and all her subjects lost everything, and the world was shrouded in darkness, with more and more sections of the land being taken over as time went on. Now, you might wonder, why did they attack the castle first? And I will say, it's a good question. Most foreign powers wouldn't go straight for the heavily fortified castle, which is probably filled to the brim with troops. But Zant did do this, and for a long time we didn't know why. But in the end it all became clear to us. There was a good reason for doing this. Zelda wielded the triforce piece of wisdom, a powerful artifact that could certainly change everything. And so Zant had to do something about this first. His plan was to shroud the land in darkness so that his people could live there. He even ignored most citizens in Hyrule Castle Town because they don't matter to him. He just wants to shroud the world in darkness. And so taking down the ruler who possessed one of the most powerful artifacts in the land was a good move. It would also make her armies weak because there wouldn't really be anyone to lead them, making it even easier for Zant to win. In the end, this plan worked, because Hyrule never saw it coming, as Zant's troops were fast enough to really surprise Zelda. That's why the town wasn't evacuated. There wasn't any time for that. Most citizens didn't even know what was happening. Now sure, some sources will tell you that Zant started with attacking the light spirits, but clearly that wasn't the case. Otherwise, it would have been a lot harder for him to take down Hyrule Castle, because they would get time to prepare. And aside from that, the castle and everything around it wasn't shrouded in twilight. This only happened after they took over the capital. The more I think about it, the more it starts to look like Zant actually launched 2 attacks. One on the Zoras, and another on the castle. That's because the surviving Zoras told us that the Dark Ones attacked them and killed their leader to prove a point, with the rest of them being frozen in Zora's domain. This way they wouldn't be able to help the Hylians who were downstream, and they would also get rid of the second most powerful race in the kingdom. Aside from that, they would also have full control over Lake Hylia, where the light spirit of the province resides, allowing them to shroud it in darkness around the same time they took over the castle. And so both Zora's domain and the capital of Hyrule would be under their control. The only mistake they ended up making is allowing the prince to escape to Hyrule Castle, who did make it there, but in the end he was still trapped in the twilight. And so they both fell. But this isn't where it ended. When the castle and economical center of the kingdom disappeared, the whole country fell into chaos. Most citizens didn't really know what was happening, and this also goes for the royal army. And so, with nothing to really attack and monsters coming from all sides, almost everyone went into a more defensive mode. But in the end, even that didn't work out. And the best example of this is probably Kakariko Village. Now, by the time the hero arrived in the settlement, it was already too late, with the entire place looking like a ghost town, and a lot of people living there didn't survive. There were only 3 people left, and all the buildings looked dilapidated. Now, for a long time, we didn't really know what happened here. I wasn't stationed anywhere near this place, but some people did manage to escape, while others ended up surviving it all, and these people were able to tell us what really happened there. It all started with the invasion. Out of nowhere, a band of boblins rode in and blew on a horn, summoning some sort of black hole that formed in the sky. This is a story we hear from a lot of survivors. This group of boblins would clear a path through the world of light and would give Zant some sort of signal. And then he would open a gateway between the twilight world and the world of light, allowing dark beasts to emerge from it. These immediately rushed for the light spirit near the entrance of the village, taking his light and shrouding the province in darkness. This is why we always had such a hard time with them. They were able to appear out of nowhere and could strike in a matter of seconds because they were so fast. Now, I will admit, the army of Hyrule was a bit of a joke back then. It was even so bad that a group of vigilantes rose up, known as the Resistance, to take it upon themselves to restore peace to Hyrule. Most, if not all, the guards ran away in fear as soon as they saw a monster, so clearly they weren't mentally ready for any type of attack. And it also seemed like their weapons wouldn't be too effective. Even high-powered explosives didn't do the job. That's at least what one bomb maker from Kakariko said. And so the village fell and was shrouded in darkness. But at some point, some strange things started to happen. Like I said before, most of the town folks were gone once the hero saved that region. But no bodies were found, which was really strange. You would imagine at least something would be left, but there was nothing. Now, you could say that those shadow beasts ended up eating the Hylians they attacked. That way, there wouldn't be anything left after all. But the survivors told us a different story. One of them, named Barney's, told us the following. He recalls how a woman was attacked by a shadow beast, and although a group of villagers went to save her, she was already gone by the time they arrived. And the interesting thing was, there were 2 of them all of a sudden. So he thinks that most of the villagers were turned into these shadow beasts. If that's actually the case, then it's only logical that the Kingdom of Hyrule didn't stand a chance. Every fallen soldier would strengthen the enemy's army. And so Kakariko Village turned into a wasteland, with the people living there turning into horrible beasts that would help Zant in taking over even more land. In the end, the entire Kingdom of Hyrule didn't stand a chance. But thanks to the hero of Twilight, the day was saved. Quite the story, huh? Believe me, that was a crazy time. But all seems to be well there now. Sure, the whole Calamity Ganon thing was, a bit exciting, but hey, that's over now. Now, it seems like my drink is, empty, so let's go grab another one and tell me about your wacky adventures in that Hyrule Kingdom. I think I'm gonna go for something stronger than this beer. I don't know, a whiskey or something. I really need something to get me.